since I fly with my cat several times a year, I thought it would be nice to do a video for anyone that has had a stressful experience or is stressed out about flying with their cat. Some of my tips and tricks so that you can learn from my mistakes and have as stress-free as a flight as you can. It is very important to get there a minimum of an hour and a half before your flight, because you're not going to be able to just check in the kiosk. Your cat needs to have their pet tag. So you have to, go up to the counter to be checked in, and then they're going to look at your carrier and make sure that it is going to fit in the plane. So be sure to get there with ample time, which can be a real pain in the butt with a cat because they are a living animal and they need to go to the bathroom, and a lot of cats don't like to go to the bathroom while they're traveling. So I personally like to go to the airport with a big cage in the back with a litter pan in case they need to use it. That way, if they go in the car, and they have every chance to the last second before it's a problem for them to go. That being said, you got to prepare for the worst. You got to prepare that your cat is going to have an accident at the airport or on the flight. So you want to have several, like 3 or 4 at least, puppy pads in your carrier. This one is my Sherpa one that I like to fly with. And this one is the appropriate dimensions for the flight that I'm about to take. I like it because you can unzip the side and give them a little bit more space. Kind of cheat the system a little bit. But if they go to the bathroom in here, you can literally get kicked off of a flight for your cat being gross. So if you have several in here, if they shift them or whatever, you're covered. And if they go to the bathroom, you can just take them to the plane's bathroom and just pop that bad boy out, and you're golden. So hopefully your cat won't make too much of a mess and you catch it quickly. But the puppy pads are a lifesaver. You want to have several in there so you can just pop them out and you're good. I also like to have spares in my bag in case the absolute worst happens. That being said, I like my carry-on to also be a carrier because you never know. I posted about a Bengal that her carrier got ripped on the flight, and she ended up hanging out at the Denver airport for several days. So I like to have my carry-on as an extra carrier, and I like to keep what else I need to fly with for the cat in the extra carrier. So I like to bring them a collapsible thing for water. There's usually water fountains or something. I can get them water. This one also has a food side. I also give them calming treats. I personally highly recommend giving gabapentin the night before and at least a couple hours before your flight. And I've done a video on gabapentin, but gabapentin is not a sedative. It is a medication that actually blocks the fear receptors in their brain, so they're not going to be loopy, they're not going to be drugged up, they're just going to be chill. And I also like to have a big storage Ziploc bag, 2 at least, in case it gets punctured, of kitty litter that is the closest to looking like kitty litter as possible. They're still going to check it like it's gunpowder and you're bringing a bomb onto the plane. So, expect extra time in TSA too, but just be sure to bring a couple different Ziploc bags so that it hopefully won't leak. And then I bring a foldable litter pan, and every chance I get, if I have a layover, I will take the cat into a family bathroom because you can just be in there by yourself with the cat and you can lock the door and they're safe, they're trapped. You don't have to worry about somebody opening the door and your cat escaping. So I also have to bring their food. Most of the time I am giving my kittens to their owners. So I feed raw, so that is another problem. So I've got this freezer bag that I freeze up and I keep their raw frozen. And as long as it's frozen, TSA, if you have somebody who hasn't seen raw meat before and thinks that you're bringing human body parts, may have some questions, but as long as it's frozen, you're good. So I pull it out of the freezer last minute before I go, and I keep this bag in the freezer. So by the time I get to my destination, even with a layover in the US, it should all still be frozen, maybe thawed out a little bit, but it will get me through my flight in the US. So if you have any other tips or recommendations or anything I said was helpful, please share this video with other people so they can have a stress-free flight with their cat.